Let's get it. Let's get it. It's better than Patrick Mahomes' brother. It's me and Kevin Klein for another pre-gaming Saturday special edition.
Serena and I look like we just broke out of Shawshank. We didn't realize we were wearing matching denim outfits, but that's just what happens. You spend all season together breaking down the games, the cuppers, the cappers, the most profitable, least professional pregame show, and you start to dress alike. It's like people who look like their dogs after a while. Serena and I are now dressing alike, and I'll tell you what, they call this that used to be the Canadian tuxedo, but today it's like the Buffalo tuxedo. This weekend, action all over the place. Prop bets, overs, unders. We will break it all down today. The regular cast of characters and convicts will be joining us. And hopefully you get your questions ASAP to us so we can answer them and we can all get dumb rich together, huh?
I love it. Just to peep, you are still the degenerate, and I am now 3-0 from last weekend, so we'll start there. Also, would like to let you all know that those of us joining today, you can go to thegameday.com. We're giving away a very lovely, massive 65-inch 4K smart TV, including a $200 gift card to the NFLshop.com, $100 cash. All right there. We're giving it away for the big game. That's February 11th is when we wrap up for submission. So head there. And for now, hang here, Kevin.
That's right. And you can keep it after the big game. So after you get to watch the big game, you'll be ready to go for Squid Game the next season.
Exactly.
You'll be good to go with a great new TV. Some of these games today could look like Squid Game. We'll break it all down. Let's start, as we do each and every day. We do this with the 2-minute drill, 2 minutes on the clock. Let's figure out what's going to happen today in NFL action.
Go ahead,
Serena,
Kevin.
since I'm always a clock hog, you can go first. Ladies first. What say you about today? What are you focused on?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but the legendary Chicago Bears linebacker, Dick Butkus, just got verified on Twitter. He has been trending on the platform the past 24, 48 hours because he's being Dick Butkus. I just want to throw out this important information. I mean, look, I'm sorry to disappoint some of you Packers fans, but I am trendy. I'm not dead. It's because I'm trendy. He doesn't know what trending is, so he thinks he's trendy. I would like to throw out this important information to all the football fans. Check his timeline, because during the Packers-Niners game, that's going to be fun. I mean, look, he's already winning. Thanks for everyone who's helped submitted my verified again blue hashtag or hash mark thing. I don't know if I'm trendy yet. I need a nap. I mean, this is classic everything. He's thrown shade at Aaron Rodgers. And he's just getting started. He's 79 years old, Kevin. Way to just bring him back to Twitter right before Packers-Niners. And I know you like the Niners today. Did you verify Dick Butkus?
Listen, we all know Dick Butkus, one of the funniest names in the history of names. And yes, a legend. And of course, if he's trendy, then I'm on board with it. I think we stop saying trending and we go right to trendy. Quickly, I want to talk about whether or not will the weather play roles in these games today. Everyone's already talking about how cold it's going to be in Lambeau. But I got news for you. As someone who's lived in the Bay Area, that's the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. That place is freezing. So I would not be too afraid of how that weather will affect Jimmy G and the Niners as the Bay heads to Green Bay. Not concerned about that. Interestingly enough, right now, a bit of a downpour and a cold day in Tampa. Just when you would think that weather would not play an impact in what is going to be happening when the Rams go to battle Tom Brady. They're getting some colder weather than normal, so pay attention. Slippery balls could be aplenty. And that is your 2-minute drill. We will update you. And if you were taking bets on when we say slippery balls, we did it within the first 2 minutes of the show. Congratulations.
It's only going to get better from here. Let's go to our rapid fire. Kevin, how many times will Dick Butkus be trendy in 2022 now that he's verified?
Listen, I ran into this guy at the Caesar shops in Vegas when he was signing. He was doing a signing, and there was not a long line of people waiting for him to sign stuff, which was surprising. I think he was also charging maybe $100 a signature. I don't know if that's what a Dick Butkus signature should go for these days, but I think that right now it's buzzy in the moment because, as you know, we need action between the action. And so this week, while we were waiting for these games to start today, we needed action. He got in at the right time. He slid right in. I think that people will be on Dick Butkus watch up until kickoff today, and then that'll be about it.
Okay. All right. I could give it
Then
a
we'll wait
few
for him.
little
Then
like,
we'll wait.
oops, I tweeted
Then we'll
that.
wait for him to get the
Thought
Betty White
something out
treatment. And then
loud.
right.
Right. Tom Brady took 3 years to launch a clothing brand that is nothing more than his name on cotton. Look at the prices
Yeah.
here. $95, $195. Is Brady's name viable enough to spend $175 for a hoodie? Look at that. He's just wearing his name.
Well, he took him 3 years to start the clothing line. It will take me 3 years to save up for a hoodie. So I'm looking forward to that right there. In fact, I got news for you. For a way more affordable price, I wanted to check this out. You can buy Brady Bunch memorabilia online for like 30, 40 bucks. Hey, same name on it, and no one will know. So just go ahead and get yourself a sweet retro Brady Bunch sweatshirt, and people will be like, "Whoa, you guys spent $200 on that Tom Brady stuff." It's it's pricey, sure. He's trying to let everyone know that he's got big plans. And let me just talk as I talk about focus. This is going to sound something, but as it pertains to the game happening this weekend, launching a clothing line that takes some focus away. He was doing stuff for that, and I'm very big on this focus. You would think he would wait until after the season to put his efforts into that. I find this to be something that you can look at. If you're looking at the Rams and you look about focus and Tom Brady, he's kind of a little bit on autopilot now, I think, with the launch of the hoodie.
Yeah, I mean, you see Matthew Stafford launching hoodies these days? No, Tom Brady. Nope. Focus.
Nope.
Patrick Mahomes is ranked the most liked current NFL player. Look at that. Number 2 is Russ Wilson. 3, Gronk. Kind of, look, there's the list. It's funny, Kevin. I want to ask if you agree, but like at no point was Patrick Mahomes brought down because of his brother. Because I feel like Russell Wilson, he's got Sierra. That's going to bump you up, likable. But Patrick Mahomes' brother, by association, would put him down that list.
Yeah, it's funny because you got most likable player by far, and I agree. Look, I have no reason to not like Patrick Mahomes, but somehow because of how much I dislike his brother constantly dancing all over the sideline, it makes me root against Patrick Mahomes only because I feel like if he doesn't keep winning, then his brother doesn't have sidelines to dance on. So I feel like in a weird way, I'm rooting against him for some strange reason. So I don't know what it is.
Apparently,
you can see what he looks like. Yeah, you can see what he looks like when he's dancing. This is him. This is his most recent drop now. So now here he is. He can't even wait to get on the sideline. He's just excited for game day. That's his wild card moves right there. Excuse me, those are his divisional round moves right there. So it makes me so angry. You know, I get the list. I understand there's players that are likable. The more we see them, the more we like them. The theory with us, Serena, is if we did this thing for 15, 16 weeks, people would start to like us. Hasn't happened for us, though. But go figure. We don't smell like Axe body spray like Gronk.
Also true. By the way, for those that are liking us so far, submit your questions. We'll try and get to those at the end of the show. Does the new GM of the Giants, Joe Shane, look like a corporate lawyer version of Eli Manning? Like, what in the world?
I'm convinced that is Eli Manning. I don't know why we haven't looked into some DNA testing because that, for all we know, that's Eli Manning with a little "Just for Men" put up there and like a weird haircut. I mean, it's a weird thing that they did that brought the guy in, but I'll give the guy credit. You know, he started 20 years ago. I think he was like an intern in the ticket sales department or something. This guy really climbed the ladder.
He looks like he's still in ticket sales.
Yeah, I think he's still an intern right there. But it's interesting, though. You know, you talk about these. We always know about these players that work their ass off and they go from Pop Warner to high school, college, stand-up, then they get their shot in the NFL. This is a guy, a suit, obviously doesn't have the athletic prowess or the neck strength to carry, on the field. But off the field, look, he's going to be running a franchise that needs someone to run them properly. So good for you.
Yes.
Good for you, Eli Manning.
Good for you. There's a petition to move the Super Bowl to Saturday instead of Sunday. People want to party and they don't want to roll into work on Monday morning. What do you think, Kevin?
I've been a fan of this for years. This has been something that gets talked about every single year. Super Bowl Sunday is great. If you're going to keep it on Sunday, that's fine. Make Monday a national holiday. There are certain things this country just loves. We celebrate. I think you don't have to move the Super Bowl to Saturday. We like the build-up. We like the parties. We like the anticipation. We like driving by the team. We don't want to win hotel and honking so they don't sleep well, which I plan on doing since it's in LA this year. I know which hotels they'll be at. But I do like the idea of Monday being a national holiday Let's celebrate
I
it
do
together as we all digest guacamole and 7-layer dip together. Thank you.
It's going to be lovely. Everyone wear stretchy pants, including men. Either way, that is it for our rapid fire. And now we're going to get into what you're all waiting for. We've got the divisional round. We're trying to make some money. So we're going to bring in our cappers. Danny Brasco, Kenny Betsbig are joining us now for our power hour. Let's just look at how we did last week. I just want to throw out that someone was 3-0. And everyone else wasn't. And that's it. Welcome.
Hey, not too shabby from the squad here. We cleaned up. Let's go.
We did.
A broken clock is right twice a day, Serena.
That's very true. Well, we're all over the board in our picks this week. So let's just get started. First game that we're getting ready for, Bengals at Titans. This spread is at -3.5. Whew. Kenny, let's just start with you and let's go round robin and see how we feel about these games.
Let's get into it. I'm excited for this game. This has a divisional round playoff matchup written all over it.
Yes.
The first time these two teams met, the Titans obviously lost that one pretty easily, but they didn't have King Henry. King Henry comes back after missing the second half of the season, and perfect timing, right? I can't remember, in recent history, a number one seed being this disrespected coming into their playoff matchup. It feels like everyone in the world thinks the Bengals and Joe Burrow are going to continue this run that they're on and should win this one pretty easily. But I think Mike Vrabel, the Titans defense, are going to rely heavily on Derrick Henry, and I would be shocked if the Titans lose this game. I think they'll win this one pretty, going away.
Danny
Kenny,
dear.
the money, you usually are at least smart enough when you give your thoughts here. And the reason Kenny's with us today is because he's, once again, not allowed on Instagram. But you would think that you would be smart enough to see all of this money this is like, the public had a good weekend last weekend in general, since favorites pretty much won and covered across the board. But all the money today, pretty heavily, is on the Titans to win and cover, and that makes me love the Bengals even more. Interesting stats and trends we'll talk about in a moment, but you're not scared at all about, I'm looking at some of these books, like 74% of the money going on to the Titans. Another book, 69%, hilarious number on the Titans. You're not concerned at all about this?
No, it doesn't concern me as much because a lot of the tickets are on the Bengals. So looking at this game, when you see the disproportion, right? So even though a lot of the money is on the Titans here, majority of the tickets are actually on the Bengals. So what that's saying is that, the casual bettors who are going up to the window, putting $10 down, $20 down, whatever the number is, but smaller amounts, they're taking the Bengals here. So they're driving up that, the action or ticket number that we'll call it, but they're not really adding to the, handle or the money pool. But a lot of the big bettors are taking the Titans here, and that's what's driving up that, what you're seeing as far as a lot of the money on the Titans.
Well, no respect. You have no respect for Mattress Mac then, because our boy Mattress Mac just threw a milli on Cincy, and that guy, as you know, is spot on with some of his plays.
The last time I rode with Mattress Mac, I was cursing him and in Alabama for a few nights. So yeah, definitely not riding with Mattress Mac here. And if anything, it makes me like the Titans even more, to be honest.
Shout out to Mattress Mac. The Titans are 2-0 against the spread when they have a rest advantage. Danny Brasco.
Oh, interesting. I like that little wrinkle too. And yeah, Kenny took a lot of the words out of my mouth. This is one of the most slept on one seeds I can ever remember. And a lot of people are saying, well, the Chiefs had an off year. Well, yeah, that's true, but the Titans did beat the Chiefs. And despite, the heavyweights of the AFC maybe not having their best year, the Titans still made it to the 1 seed, having their two best offensive players hurt a lot of the year in Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. Their two best offensive linemen, Taylor Lewan and Rodgers Saffold. Two of their best defensive players have been hurt, David Long Jr. and Janoris Jenkins. Every one of those names that I just mentioned is healthy and ready to play now. They got the rest with the bye week. And like Kenny mentioned, the money, while most of the money is on the Titans, it's not dumb money. It looks like those big money bettors. I didn't know Mattress Mac was on Cincinnati. I love it more now. How's he doing this year? The Astros, right? Not too hot. So even better of a fade. And if we want to look into the statistics a little bit, just to kind of get some math behind these numbers, look, we know Joe Burrow's the hot, sizzling quarterback, right, and sort of the stud of the NFL. But look, no rookie QB making their playoff debut has made it to past the divisional round, not even Russell Wilson. He became just the fourth rookie quarterback to even win his playoff debut. So that's impressive enough. No one's gotten around further. And we want to look at some stats. I mean, we know that the Tennessee run defense is really good. Cincinnati 23rd in offensive rush yards. That means it's all Burrow. And I think Vrabel and Tennessee know that. So, they'll do those cover fours, zone defenses. And if you're forced to pass the whole game, I just don't see how a one-dimensional game plan can beat a Vrabel defense. They're 7th in yards per play, so they get the big plays, but they're bottom 5 in the number of plays. So if they're not getting big plays, they're not really converting. And Tennessee's number 1 on offense on time on the field. So you always hear about these great quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. You got to keep them off the field. Tennessee does that. So you can do that to Burrow. And I think, amongst all the other things I mentioned, there's just too many points for me not to take Tennessee. So I like the Titans today as well. Let's go, Kenny.
Kevin loves the Bengals, though. He loves Joe Burrow. You got to give him confidence there.
This is deja vu of every week of this stupid show. Is I'm sitting here defending the Bengals, and all you schmucks are telling me why I'm an idiot, and then look who's cashing. So let me just give you this stat, since we're playing with stats. If you're going to talk about Burrow versus Tannehill, both have thrown 14 picks this season. But look at this. Burrow, in the touchdowns, 34 touchdowns. 34 touchdowns he's thrown for, whereas Tannehill's only thrown for 21. Huge discrepancy there. Yards per game on average, Burrow does better than Tannehill there as well. And I know everyone's thinking, well, we're not factoring in King Henry, who's back. I think it's funny that everyone assumes because he's back now, he's 100% rested and ready, he's going to be full strength, he's going to be a huge impact in the game, and maybe he will be. But on the flip side, maybe he won't be. You look at some of the big injuries that have happened this season, and when the stars came back, Russell Wilson took him a few games to stop sucking. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. I will give you this one advantage for all of you Titans bettors, and once again, I am not one of them. Interesting trend. I know Danny's going to love this one. Vrabel, when he gets 8 or more days to prepare for a game against the opponents, he is 8-0 against the spread, which is an interesting stat right there. And the average margin of victory in those games is 18.7, which is way more than the spread today. So it shows you when Vrabel has time to prepare, his teams win, and they win by a lot. That scares me a little bit. But other than that, I like, I don't ride with Mattress Mac often. I wouldn't even buy a mattress from that guy, for the record. But I do like the Bengals today, and I like the Bengals at +4 if you can buy that hook. If it's 3.5, I like them at 4, but whatever, go Bengals.
You know what I will say is that I was actually hoping that Derrick Henry didn't play in this game, and I was going to like the Titans even more. I was hoping that the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Bengals hype was going to be bet down to -3, and we would get the Titans at 3. And what I did was I bought the Titans to -2.5. So that's my favorite bet in here. If the Titans end up winning by a field goal, I want to cash the bet. So that's my favorite play. I got that -150 earlier in the week, but the betting market went the other way. Like Kenny said, a lot of the sharp bettors and big money guys went to the Titans. So now it's all the way up to 4. But I mean, that Vrabel stat is fantastic. So I don't think it's so much Derrick Henry that's the X factor for me here. That's obviously a huge morale boost, if anything, even if he's not, his MVP type self. It's the defense that I'm banking on here, and Vrabel. I think he's an elite coach, and he shows that today.
Although an interesting prop.
Sorry, Serena. I was going to say, who I think has a big game and no one's really talking about? Julio Jones. The Bengals, if you look at their advanced metrics as far as how they do matching up against opposing wide receivers, they're very good against the number 1 wide receiver, but against the number 2, there's a huge drop-off. So I think, the Titans went out to get Julio Jones for this exact moment to help take them over to that next level. We've seen the Titans in the playoffs the last few years, but they just haven't been able to get to that next level. And that's why they go out and get a guy like Julio Jones. I think he's going to have a great game tonight. His over receptions prop is 3.5. That's super low. Anytime touchdown +195 feels like a gift in the red zone. Like who better in the NFL, maybe besides DeAndre Hopkins, to just throw the ball up to than Julio Jones. I think Julio Jones
his first touchdown. If he's first touchdown score of the game, that's a +1100, which I found to be shockingly high as well. So that's for first touchdown.
Yeah.
I like that.
And hey,
All right.
Serena, last time I slept on the Titans, I ended up having to jump through a table because of it. So this is the last time I make that mistake. You know, I've been on them since then.
Smart man, smart man. Yeah, I actually really like the Derrick Henry over 79.5 and a half rushing yards prop. He's averaged over 100 per game in the first half of the year. He has a steel plate in his foot now, and it's completely healed. I mean, I have a steel pin in my finger, and I can still pitch a fastball. They also have 3 injuries on the defensive line for the Bengals right now, even though they say they're all going to play. I really like the Titans to get this win. So let's move on. Because the Packers, guys, Kevin, I'm going to start with you. You like the Niners, but I got to say, it's like getting the answers to a test and then saying, nah, I'm good. I'm going to not use this cheat sheet, and I'm going to go the other way and guess myself, Kevin.
Look, Jimmy G has got some injuries. There's a shoulder thing, there's a thumb thing, but his beautiful face is fine. So that's all that matters as far as I'm concerned. A 14-4 against the spread as an underdog. This is like, look, there are certain stories that develop, and yes, this is the game that I think many people are most excited about. It's the one that I'm actually the most excited to watch, the Bay Area versus Green Bay. It's Lambeau. I know Lambeau doesn't lose playoff games at home. They're saying the temperatures could drop into the single digits. I'm not concerned about any of that. Debo, who I said is going to be one of the big stars of the postseason. Serena, when you and I were arguing, rumors today he's about to get a monster contract extension in San Francisco. And of course, I think he's going to want to earn that. He's not going to want to do anything in the game that's going to jeopardize that. So I think that's going to be a big one. And Juwan Jennings, I believe at plus 450, anytime touchdown. I think there's so much action that you can get. I like the Niners on a lot of props. He's a big guy. He's on the field a lot because he blocks well. I also think that there's going to be a lot of coverage on Kittle and on Debo, and I think he's going to have a great game as well. So I look at like San Francisco as a team that's going to have a lot of big plays. I'm really not that concerned about Jimmy G's health and the way other people are. And listen, I know that it's hard to bet against Green Bay in Lambeau. I get all that, but that's the public take, and I'm trying to go against my own dumb instincts. So I like San Francisco. I like them in a lot of ways today.
Kenny, you also like San Francisco, I believe, and it's weird because it's a -6 spread.
Yeah, yes. It's very tough going against Aaron Rodgers, especially at Lambeau, coming off a bye week, playoff atmosphere. I was on the Niners against the Packers earlier this year, and that was probably one of the worst losses I've experienced in my betting career, where Aaron Rodgers went down the field, no timeouts, in about 28 seconds and ripped my soul away to win the game. I think out of all the teams remaining, I think the 49ers have the best chance to, upset the Packers. They're the best rushing team in the league. Well, one of the best rushing teams. Sorry, the Eagles are first. But the Packers are terrible at stopping the run. They're giving up over 4.8 yards per carry. I think Kyle Shanahan did it last week where he had a beautiful game plan drawn up. And I think we'll see it again. I think we'll see a lot of Elijah Mitchell. The Packers not very good at defending the tight end position. Well, the 49ers have George Kittle. So I think the Packers' weaknesses match up very well for the 49ers' strengths. And I think 6 points is too many here.
Danny, you don't see Aaron Rodgers selling a clothing brand right now. I feel like that guy's pretty focused.
Yeah, speaking of which, if you buy a hoodie that says Brady on it, I'm sorry, you're a freaking loser. Like, that is the lamest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't care who I offended with that statement. Like, that's just, if I pass someone wearing that hoodie, I will shame them in public. I mean, that is just the lamest shit I've ever seen. Okay, onto this game. Kenny makes some good points, and the 6, 5.5, wherever it is, I'm not comfortable laying that many points with the Packers. I do like the Packers to win this game, but it is too many points. So what I did was, when they were -6 favorites, I teased them down in a 6-point teaser to a pick 'em. You can also take them on the money line in a parlay, but that's what I'll do with the Packers here, because look, I can't go against them, even though Kenny makes some great matchup points for the 49ers. The Packers haven't lost a home playoff game since 2013. I mean, Kevin last week was talking about home field advantage and the handicap, the traditional was that you get 3 points for being the home field advantage. And he found some stats that say, well, maybe it's only worth 1.7 points. Lambeau Field is worth freaking 4 points. I mean, this is the best home field advantage in the NFL. Obviously, a lot of the conversations about the cold weather and Jimmy G's injuries, his thumb, his sprained shoulder, will that hold up? I'm not so much focused on that. I think that's a narrative that I don't want to lead myself too far down that rabbit hole. Like, it's been cold. In the playoffs, it gets cold playing football. And, guys step up or they don't. Yeah, will it be harder in the cold for Jimmy G? For sure. But that's not going to really move the needle either way for me. What is, I think that the Packers, as good as this defense has been, they're getting more pieces back now. They've been so good, and they've been shorthanded. Zaire Smith, Whitney Merciless, two of the best pass rushers in the league. They're coming back, and Jair Alexander, one of the best cover corners. So, look, we'll see if they're 100% and they're full talented versions of themselves. But I just think in a game that the Niners are going to try to make it that nasty trench warfare, run the ball down your throat. More good players on defense can only help. And at the end of the day, Rodgers is not losing at home. This is the Packers' year, man. I see them going to the Super Bowl, and I don't think the Niners have enough to take them down, but it should be a good game, so I won't lay the points. I'll just take the Packers to win.
I do like
not that we don't pat ourselves on the back often around here, Serena. I know you've been patting yourself on the back all show. You're going to get rug burn on your hand from all that back patting you've been doing about your 3-0 week last week. But I did say that Mitchell. I did say last week when there was 2 more teams playing, by the way, that Mitchell was going to be the leading rusher at a plus 600. He was the leading rusher at plus 600. I think what Kenny said is very smart. And not most of the things, but this particular thing is that he's going to have a great game as well. I think he could be leading rusher again this week. If you can take that prop bet, hopefully you made some money. Paid attention last week to that. And yes, listen, it's very difficult to even say the words Rodgers loses at home. However, the argument, this is the Packers' year, just so you know, just today, going to the car wash, going to pick up more booze for the games today, I heard the following from people. This is the Bengals' year. This is the Titans' year. It can't be everyone's year. Can't be everyone's year, guys. So I don't buy that argument. Whatever. We're going to see it on the field today, and it's one of the reasons why I like the points. Any given Sunday, any given Saturday, whatever the case may be, 6 points. It's a monster spread, biggest spread of the weekend. So how do you not?
And Kevin, you actually brought up sort of a low key player that I find interesting. You mentioned Jawan Jennings for the Niners. I had a bet on his over under receptions at 2.5, and over was plus 110. It hit. He had 3 catches last week, all of them on clutch third downs. He's Jimmy G's third down target, and he made some really important plays. So I kind of like your read on him. You could see him have an impact moment in this game.
Also, another point to make: he runs the slot a lot. And if you look at the defense for the Packers, terrible in that little slot middle of the field area. He's gonna have a great game today. I really think he's gonna be a standout, and I don't think he gets as much coverage. Also, a big guy, so they love him on the field blocking for the other guy. They love him as a blocker, which means he's a check down receiver. If they don't have a good look at 1-2, he's gonna get a lot. So he will eat a lot today. Get ready. He's gonna feast, put a lot. I'm telling you right now, J Squared is gonna have a big game.
Okay. Rams at Buccaneers is -3. We'll move on to the next game. Look, guys, I love the Rams on the money line. I feel like the Rams defense made Kyler Murray rethink his football career. After having an MVP-like season, he couldn't throw anything but interceptions. If baseball gets themselves together, I could see him on a roster. And now they're going to retire Brady. I mean, you've got Wirfs who's injured, Jensen who's injured. Both guys are listed as questionable. So I'm all in on the Rams after seeing what they just did to the Cardinals. Kenny bets big. Please tell me you agree with me.
Yes, so it feels kind of weird. I had
Clear
to clear
that
my
throat.
throat before
Clear
I
the
say
throat.
this, because all last year I was saying rule number 1 is you just don't bet against Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I find myself here absolutely in love with the Rams this weekend. It's still early, and you touched on how the Bucs are missing a couple key players on the offensive line, and on the whole roster is banged up at this point. But I'm going to wait and see if those guys are in or out, because that's a huge disadvantage for the Bucs if they're missing some of their offensive linemen. But yeah, I just can't get off of this Rams team. The roster from top to bottom, best roster in football. There's superstars all over the field. And honestly, when was the last? I don't think we've ever seen a football team assembled this way. Maybe like the old Rams with like Isaac Bruce and Marshall Faulk and Torrey Holt. But there's just so much talent on this team, offense and defense. The coaching, superstar coach, and Sean McVay. It's hard to think that the Bucs are going to go in and win this game. So yeah, give me the Rams here. I think they win going away. It's tough.
Going away, he said. I love the way he said it too. He opened. He said, "I'm in love. I don't love the Rams. I'm in love with the Rams." Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. It scares me how much I like them because I'm going to bet them plus 3.5. That just feels like, the L word. We don't want to say it. But it feels like the L word. And I'll definitely bet the money line too. Serena, I mean, you brought up some of the points. I mean, number one, look, Kenny's talking about. Let me address both of what you guys brought up. You don't want to fade Tom Brady. It's really hard betting against him. But I don't feel like I'm betting against Tom Brady here. I'm betting against the depleted team and the version of the Bucs that is not the defending champions this season. So, Serena, you brought up the offensive line. Regardless of if Ryan Jensen and Tristan Wirfs play, they're hurt. And Wirfs tried to get back in there last week, and his knee kind of gave back out. So if Brady doesn't have the protection that he's used to, that defensive line is going to cause havoc. And in all those Brady losses that we have, not all, the few and far between, but the ones that we remember where he's throwing the Microsoft Surface tablet right off to the side, it's him being furious with his offensive line because he can't get protection or time to do anything that he wants. And that's what I'm envisioning happening on Sunday here. Kenny's talking about Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, the greatest show on turf. It's back. That's this version of the Rams. I mean, they're so talented. I saw footage last week of Stafford look off a safety and do a no-look deep throw to Van Jefferson. Go rewatch that throw. He literally no-looked a 40-yard bomb. Stafford's playing at a much higher level than people are giving him credit for. I see all these top 5 QB lists, and it's Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, Burrow, and Allen, and Stafford's nowhere to be found. I think the disrespect is not warranted. He's an elite quarterback, and Kenny said, I mean, they're just too talented. The Bucs, as much as Brady got them to that Super Bowl, their defense and their run game with Fournette put them over the top. They're hurt this year. They don't have all the pieces in line as they did sort of so perfectly last year. And I don't think they get through this Rams team. So to me, NFC Conference Championship, Rams-Packers.
I mean, if you pay attention and you win a couple $1,000s on this game, you could buy half of one of those brand new Brady sweatshirts, which is awesome. I mean, that's amazing. I look at this one and I could see it really going either way, which is why I like the tease. But I don't know why this over-under is where it is right now. It feels to me like it should be in the 50s, a low 50, maybe even a mid 50. It was at 48. I think it opened at 48.5. I've seen it now dropping as low as 47. Maybe I'm a sucker right now. Maybe I'm playing Joe Public by just assuming you've got two high-powered offenses that have both been averaging around 30 points a game. The last time they met, they put up close to 60 points. I don't know why, other than the fact that maybe it's the playoffs and people play a little bit tighter, that this shouldn't be a high-scoring game. You saw what the Rams did last week, putting up 30 against Arizona. And yes, that game did go under, which was a play that I had. But I like this one going over. It feels like maybe it's too easy to say that, but that's the way I'm looking at this one, regardless of how I feel about the Rams, how I feel about the Bucs. Yes, the argument Tom Brady doesn't lose in the playoffs. That is like the public narrative of some idiot that doesn't really pay attention to sports most of the year. And then all of a sudden it's like, can't bet against Brady, but they haven't been watching any football games this year. And I just absolutely agree that like you guys said, like the $6 million man, there's a topical reference. That's what they've done with this Rams team. Good when the season started, then they made it better as the season went on. So it's just kind of wild to think, adding the pieces. OBJ is now playing like everyone thought he would, with the confidence, distractions all over the field. Everyone's getting theirs. It's hard to bet against the Rams, but yet they will not get the respect because they don't have a man by the name of Tom Brady on their squad.
Expensive hoodies. Gotta bet against Brady in order to pay for that hoodie. I like a sleeper. Tyler Higbee as an anytime scorer. He had 2 touchdowns against the Niners. Had a touchdown last time these two teams played, and he's been really good for the Rams, so I like that. And let's move on to the last game of the divisional round, Bills at Chiefs. Oh, Kenny, I can't help but start with you because you have had a bone to pick with Josh Allen. You haven't had much faith. This man had almost a perfect game against your Patriots. I love this matchup. So, Kenny, let's start with you because I feel like you do too.
Well, so I actually said that if the Bills get past the Patriots last week, I thought the Patriots
Yes.
would be their toughest test in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if they got past that, I think they have a very good, clear shot to the Super Bowl. So I'm sticking with that. I think the Bills should win this one against the Chiefs. Sounds crazy to say. Patrick Mahomes and that offense have been humming, but I just think Josh Allen. Last year, I said it, they were just a year too early, and I think they're kind of clicking on all cylinders at the perfect time. Midway through the season, a lot of people were writing them off, and now they're just hitting their stride at the perfect time coming into these playoffs. So, yeah, I think the Bills can go into Arrowhead and win that one.
Please send in your questions. We'll get to those in just a bit after this final matchup. Danny, do you like this game? Are you putting money down? It's a pretty high total.
Yeah, total is astronomical, but I mean, you can expect that. These offenses are both amazing. I haven't bet this game yet. It's one of the only ones that I actually haven't, gone and placed a bet on quite yet. I definitely will because it's a fascinating, intriguing game. And I agree with Kenny. I lean towards the Bills in this one. I think some of the conversation and them going into play the Patriots was, well, look at their last 4 games this season. They've only really beat up on weak teams and had great defensive performances on the Jaguars and the Falcons and these lowly teams. And so people were talking about how they sort of had a cakewalk at the end. Then they play the Patriots in the first round. And Serena, you said it. They played a perfect game on offense against an elite top 5 Bill Belichick defense. I mean, they didn't make a mistake. No turnovers, no negative yards, no offensive penalties, no punts. Every drive was a touchdown. Outrageous performance. So this team, even said by the GM themselves, is designed to beat the Chiefs. That's the team that they have to get past. And with all the question marks we've seen from the Chiefs, as much as their normal selves as they look like they are becoming again, this Josh Allen-led Buffalo Bills team, if that defense is on point, man, they're number 1 in the league. I don't see the Chiefs beating them, which is crazy to say. So I do lean towards the Bills, and I'm hoping that the public drives this over up as high as possible because with these two teams, the over is the only logical bet, which then I will fade the entire world and take the under. So I'm hoping it gets all the way up to like 55, and then I'll bet the under. We'll see how high it gets.
Captain Underpants.
Kevin?
A man with a mission. Look, you go back to week 5, you saw what happened. I mean, I know we don't remember that. Thanks a lot, Weed. Our short-term memory is pretty much gone at this point. But 38-20 was the score of that one. The Bills got the better of the Chiefs. And, the Chiefs had some struggles at the beginning of the season, as we all remember. In fact, one of the great early bets I hope you took, because Kenny told you to, was that the Chiefs would make the playoffs when I think it was paying like some crazy plus 750 or plus 800 when they were on that losing streak at the beginning of the season. Back to everything that Danny just said, though. I mean, just got some stats here about over-under, which is interesting in this one. Bills have hit the over. They're 8-0 on the over the last 8 weeks when they were dogs. So whenever they are dogs, the Bills, those games seem to go over in a big way. Chiefs have been averaging over the course of the entire season scores of 28-21, which would put this over-under right around 49. That's the one thing that could cause a little bit of concern. But they've been 11-7 on the overs this season as well. So the over obviously is the play. Public is all over it. Apparently the sharp money, and Kenny can speak to this, has been all over the Bills, though. People love the Bills at plus 2.5. I know that line has moved a bit, but people seem to love the Bills. You talk about this perfect game that was played last week. Remarkable. We were on this show. I was in Vegas, hungover, drinking Bloody Marys, and we were talking about how that game was Bill versus the Bills. And I thought that Bill Belichick was more important than the Bills as a team, and I couldn't have been more wrong in that one. But now there is no more Bill Belichick. You just have the Bills, and they were able as a team to play a no penalty, no negative yard. I don't think they ran one negative yard play the entire game, which is a pretty remarkable thing to think about. So if they can keep that level of focus, we've all seen the Chiefs play crappy football this season. It hasn't been in a few weeks, but the Bills, I think, are a team on a tear right now. Hate to say it, but it does look like that could be the team that will. I know a lot of people think the winner of that Tampa Bay Rams game is going to be the winner of the Super Bowl. I actually believe it will be the winner of this game will be the winner of the Super Bowl. So I think whoever wins this game between the Bills and the Chiefs will be the winner of the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, Bills had no punts, no field goals, no interceptions, no fumbles lost, and a touchdown on every single drive outside of kneel downs. Ryan Fitzpatrick, former QB for the Bills, also took off his shirt and was part of Bills Mafia. I don't think there's any other reason not to put some money on the Bills. Either way, let's pull up our little slip here. We all have our bets ready to go. So let's pull up what we look like right now. Kenny got the Titans. We all really like the Titans, except for Kevin. He's riding solo with Joe Burrow.
I'm riding on the Burrow back. I'll be lighting my pre-game celebratory cigar, just like his parents do, and he does as well, I'm sure. So I am excited about that. Cigars will be smoked ahead of time, as we got the exclusive last week, and so get ready for that.
Great.
And to take a page out of the Kevin Kline degenerate playbook, I was listening to all the conversations in my deli. I was getting a bacon, egg, and cheese this morning. And what's all the talk of the town in my neighborhood? Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So I immediately faded all my maintenance workers that are taking the Bengals today.
I love it. All right, Kevin, you with your rose-colored glasses and Joe Burrow. Let's hear your totally exclusive prop bet.
All right, here's the deal, guys. I just chatted about it. This is rare at this point in the season. I mean, you think about Bill Belichick's coaching career. He's rarely had this weekend off. This is a working weekend for that guy, usually. What will Bill Belichick do with his free weekend? That is your totally exclusive prop bet. At 10-1, which means you can get $10 for every $1 you wager, he's going to be taking a little postseason de-stressing spa trip with Robert Kraft, who knows where all the good spas are. It's 10-1. You can make some money on that. That guy's got the inside. 50-1. He's gonna. There he is. Look how relaxed he looks, huh? At 50-1, he's gonna. Of course, this weekend is going to be his once-a-year laundry. He does his laundry once a year, based on that sweatshirt we've all seen him wear on the sideline. So there it is. It's time to wash it. His once-a-year washing of that shirt. So that'll be happening today. At even money, though, I mean, if you want the smart bet, guys, it's even money. He's going to be sitting on his couch, eating a pint of Ben & Jerry's, watching Tom Brady play football and crying. That's going to be your even money bet right there. And here's your long shot. You want your lotto play. This is 1,000-1, but I do think it's possible. He is going to be at 1,000-1, entering and winning the world's biggest smile championship. Give it up for Bill Belichick. Huh? There he is. Look at that. There he is. Representing the U.S. of A.
Upside down.
The world's biggest
Oh,
smile.
man, look at that face.
Congrats.
Looks like a catcher's glove.
You might get hurt.
he's ready to go.
Catcher's glove.
Make some money on your totally exclusive prop bet. Yeah, you're welcome.
Please do. And also, please join us. Now we're going to answer your questions, but head to thegameday.com. There is an awesome giveaway and a chance to win a 65-inch 4K smart TV. You can also win a $200 gift card to the NFLshop.com, $100 cash. So please sign up. Submissions end February 11th, right before the big game. So get yourself set up there while we answer your questions to help you make some money. So let's get things started. Our first question, give me one anytime touchdown score this weekend. I actually really like Josh Allen to put up his own touchdown. I feel like that seems realistic considering the game he came off, but I like Josh Allen anytime score. I think you can get it for DraftKings for plus 150. So peep that. Also like Stephon Diggs. What do you guys got? Anything? Kenny or Danny?
I like Julio Jones. Yeah, I just talked about that one earlier. I like Julio Jones. And just in the Bengals game, we'll keep it. It's the first game. I also think T. Higgins gets in the end zone.
Oh, T. Higgins. Okay.
Yeah, I like the thought process of the number one receiver, Jamar Chase, kind of they'll double him. So who's the other guy? And to that effect, I kind of like Odell Beckham to get in the end zone again. I know Kenny was on that last week, and why not ride it again? I mean, Cooper Kupp saw a lot of double teams, so he's clicking in that offense. Give me OBJ to get in the end zone.
Okay.
Last week, proud to say I had OBJ as the first touchdown scorer, which did actually pay off.
Nice.
That's hit twice for me this season, so I like that one. I said it earlier. I like Jennings. I think that for San Francisco plus 450 anytime. That's not a first time. That's an anytime. I like that one a lot for the odds. Cooper Kupp. Keep in mind, like we've said. I think it was probably one of the smartest things we said on this show, which was at this point probably back in week, I don't know, 5. But we said take that guy every week. I know the odds have gone down as he's gotten more and more touchdowns, but why stop that? Why not assume at some point he's going to get a touchdown? He just seems to be getting fed. And we all saw the viral video that went on between Tom Brady and Gronk, where he needed a few more catches to hit his $1 million bonuses, right? All these players have side deals, touchdowns, bonuses, etc. You don't think their quarterback's going to try to take care of them today? Think about it like that. So the stars, I do think, will get fed. And yeah, the coverage will be there, but I think these games are going to be a lot more high scoring than we anticipated. Last week, a lot of them went under. I think the opposite will be happening this week. That's just my thought in general. A lot of touchdowns. I like it. So I think a lot of players are going to get themselves touchdowns.
And this one probably has some juice on it, but Devontae Adams is always a great anytime TD. I mean, him and Rodgers, just pretty locky.
Very true. Good question to segue into highest scoring game versus lowest scoring game. I'll start with you, Captain Underpants. Who do you like for a lowest scoring game?
Lowest scoring game? Interesting.
Out of the 4.
Oddly enough, I kind of feel like it might be Titans-Bengals.
Okay.
Saturday, early game. I'm feeling Titans defense with a good performance. So I'll say that one.
Highest scoring game, Kevin?
Well, for all of the bets I put in, I sure hope it's the Rams-Tampa Bay game, but weather is concerning to me in Tampa Bay. I think that will be the highest scoring one. I think Green Bay-San Francisco could be your lowest scoring game.
To the next question, I'm going to send it to Kenny. If you had to pick a game this weekend to go to overtime, who you got?
The Kenny special.
I think either the Rams-Bucks or Niners-Packers game. I think the Niners, I already said how I like them. I think if they lose that one, it'll be Aaron Rodgers playing some hero football and coming from behind.
Like that. What fan base cares the most and or the least? I feel like Bills Mafia's up there for caring the most. They went out in -7-degree weather to cheer for them against the Patriots. But who cares about their team the least? That's a good question.
Can't spell least without LA.
Chargers?
Can't spell least without LA, baby.
I thought Kevin did a whole segment on why Chargers fans don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I believe that most of the people in Los Angeles don't even know the Rams have a football game this season. Like the passionate fan base is there. There are fans, don't get me wrong, but by the way, you saw that stadium when it was the Niners in town. I mean, it was like 90% of the tickets were purchased and seats were sat in by Niners fans over Rams fans. I don't think anyone could care the least. I mean, the Bengals have had the longest drought, but Buffalo, I think those guys, I mean, they're breaking furniture. I think they want it more than anyone. Lambeau fans, Green Bay fans are great, but they've experienced a lot of glory in their life. They're kind of used to it. So I don't know. I think Buffalo fans want it the most. LA fans probably care the least, I guess. That's what I would say in general.
It's a good answer.
Quarterback to throw more picks, Jimmy G or Rodgers? It's definitely Jimmy G. I know. Rodgers has one of the best touchdown to interception ratios of all time. That guy never throws the ball over. And
the other guy has a freaking broken thumb. Come on.
Also,
I think Jimmy G's going to have 0 interceptions this week.
And do you think Rodgers also has 0 interceptions?
There's a chance, but I think Jimmy G, he's getting a lot of crap, and I don't understand why, because he does nothing but win, right? The guy's just a winner in the NFL. So, I think Jimmy G has a game. No picks for Jimmy.
He also fake bakes, but that's here nor there. All right, who is the public all over? Kevin, clear question for
Titans. Titans. The public. I mean, the money. I mean, they're. I don't know. This is where I get confused between money versus sharp bets versus public. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. The way I see it, from all the places I go to get my information, which is pretty much listening to people in the stall next to me taking a dump and on their phone with their bookie. But bottom line is, it feels like everyone is all over the Titans, and maybe that's just because it's the first game out of the gate. That's what I'm hearing a lot of. It feels like the big public plays feel like they're Green Bay and Tennessee are the two big plays I'm hearing. That seems to be getting all the love. Those are what it said. But once again, Kenny, Danny have different access to different people, different realms of society than I do.
Yes, I just pulled it up for him. The bets are almost dead even. There's 6,600 bets on both sides. There's $1.2 million on the Titans, and there's $817,000 on the Bengals plus the spread.
And in terms of public tickets, I've seen the most tickets on the Packers. So those do look like the most publicly backed teams.
While we're talking about your Bengals, Kevin, you are on an island by yourself. Someone submitted a question. Should I bet the over-under for CJ Uzama on 3.5 receptions?
I don't know.
He's done
It's not
pretty
bad.
well for himself. I
Yeah,
like
I
it.
got no-
I want to take the over.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to fake a take on that one. I don't really have one there. I mean, that's
He just likes Joe Burrow. That's what he wants.
No, there's certain games, like I told you, the Niners game, I'm more interested in the player props in that one. And in this Bengals game, I'm just more interested in the Bengals covering. So I'm not saying they're necessarily going to win, but I do think they'll cover. So but prop-wise, I wouldn't even give you a take because I would be making it up.
I like the over in that one. Danny, do you like the over? You were going to say something.
I have a take for you. Yeah, I actually cashed this bet on Uzoma a couple weeks in a row, and he was at 2.5, and then Joe Burrow started to connect with him, so they're inflating his line to 3.5 right now. It's a little sketchy. I think he will either have 3 or 4 receptions today. So I think that line is right on the money. Tough bet, coin flip for me. He'll be right there.
Tennessee's defense kept that team like be honest, a lot of the talk is on King Henry today, but like that defense is so effing good, and like that's why they are where they are right now. That's why they're the one. That explains a lot. Like, let's not forget that. And I know you look it back to the first time these two teams met, and like, yeah, the Bengals got the win there, and I do think the Bengals, as I said, will cover and potentially win the game. But the defense does scare me, and I fear that depending on how that defense is playing, if they're like at their playing at the top of their game, then maybe that does change some of the offensive planning for the Bengals. But look, Burrow's going to have to throw. Like he's got to throw some balls. Like I know that I was looking at the amount of I think his number for completions is somewhere in the was it high 20s? I don't know. It's moved a little bit, but I feel like he needs to throw the ball a lot. Like if they're going to win this game, like that has to happen. He's got to get some completion. So that would make me take the over. But whatever.
I got one for you. Kenny's going Jimmy G no pick, which is probably plus money because of all the weeks in a row he's thrown one, right? Even though he has played well, he's right. He is turnover liable. What about Joe Burrow? Yes, interception. I could see maybe Kevin Byard, safety on Titans, snatching one, right? If he's forced to throw a lot, if they're playing from behind. I like Joe Burrow to maybe throw one. I know he's the darling right now, but, it's a playoff game, man.
He's due for an interception. To your point, Danny, like he hasn't thrown one in 3 games. You're going against a safety who's like one of the best, leads his team in interceptions. I love the Kevin Byard, Joe Burrow tandem, and I love that Joe Burrow actually throws an interception in this game. Can't go that far and be perfect. It's just not possible. Unless you're Tom Brady, but then you mess up by selling your sweatshirts. So either way, that's what we have here. That's the end of our rapid fire. What were you going to say?
Those are beautiful.
Kenny, if we go to Kenny's closet right now, I bet you he's got one in every color hanging right there in the closet. This guy loves
got him in.
Well, what goes best with a pair of his Louboutin sneakers than a Tom Brady hoodie for $250?
A pastel. He's got it in the end. Pastel green.
Gosh, well, I'm glad because Kenny can afford them, and that's why you should listen to Kenny when it comes to bets and fashion, because you can afford that kind of thing. Either way, we appreciate it. We can't afford any more time because we've got games to watch. So that's wrapping up our Power Hour. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate you guys. By the way, please head to thegameday.com. You can stop looking at our faces in just a second. for a chance to win a lovely 65-inch 4K smart TV. You can win cash to the NFL.com. Get yourself a new jersey. Kevin's already bought himself a Joe Burrow jersey. You can get $100 cash, so make sure you check that out. Either way, Kevin, cheers to you.
Hey, cheers to you guys. It's going to be a great weekend of football. If you're not already subscribing, commenting, you can do that. We appreciate that. I know that Serena and I are always dropping this show, of course, upon you, but also additional stuff. You can check out a new episode of Dollar Bets where I go around with a wad of cash and try to get people to do crazy, dumb shit. That is available currently on the Game Day YouTube channel, a new episode there. We'll find out if someone was able to go bobbing for hot dogs where they put their face onto a 500-degree grill and take a hot dog off using just their mouth. The results will be shocking. That's right. We'll do anything for money, and we prove that to you each and every week. Serena, we're going to meet up at a bar in about an hour or so and watch some of these games. So let's get together and watch some football. And they're going to think we broke out of they're going to arrest us immediately because they're going to see us in our denim, and they're going to say, wait a minute, these guys just broke out of Folsom.
Can't wait. Love twinning with you, Kevin. Except when I bet. That's when I don't like to.
Let's win today. Forget about this twinning crap. Let's win some money. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back again, of course, next week. The game's getting even more exciting. In the meantime, follow, subscribe, and all that stuff. For Serena, Kevin here saying, let's go make some money.